You have never seen a city like this for Pokemon Go. Pokestops lured up for miles, full raid lobbies and spawns everywhere, and shiny Pokemon up the wazoo. Welcome to the #1 city in America to play Pokemon Go, New York City. Today I'll be playing hard for the next 3 hours and tracking my stats like XP and Stardust gained, Pokemon and shiny Pokemon caught, and Pokestops spun, to prove that this is in fact the most overpowered city in America to grind. On screen right now are my starting stats for the day. We'll see where we end. And to make it easier, today is Community Day, so I've got a little challenge. If I don't catch at least 30 shiny Pokemon, I'll dip into my collection of hyper rare shinies, aka the rarest Pokemon in my entire account, and I'll transfer one in cold blood. It begins. Shiny Swinub #1 on the board. And also, we're gonna have a timer on screen too, showing how much time exactly we've got to catch these 30 shiny Pokemon and prove that this is the best city in the world to play. Well, America. It's also, pouring rain here. Oh, right now I'm in Central Park, one of the most famous places in Pokemon Go history. As you can see, I mean, it's pretty good. There's not as many Pokestops condensed here as I would like, but there's a lot of checks. Oh, shiny 354 CP. Swinub. Bam. Hit that nice. And as you can see on the timer, it's, well, we're 45 minutes into Calm Day. It means we don't have that much time to get 28 more shinies. So to help us out, I'm gonna drop the daily incense and actually see that huge cluster of stops over there. That's where we're going. We'll hang out here in Central Park until about the 3 o'clock mark, which is really at the end of this daily incense, and then spend the last 2 hours walking around the inner city of New York, which is way better. Let's see if we get some daily luck. And we did get the luck. We have another shiny Swinub at 66 CP this time, not the daily incense spawn, but exactly what we're looking for from here in Central Park. I'd like to leave this area with at least 10 shiny Pokemon. The spawns actually are fantastic. Sweet, shiny Swinub 3. We're almost at the lures. Man, the elements absolutely fighting against us today here in New York, but the spawns are still amazing. Now, the clear benefit of all the walking is the fact that we have some eggs hatching too, which is fantastic because this is good Stardust, and these are 10-kilometer eggs, which could contain, bam, boom, anything but Togedemaru, please. Okay, still a minute left in the daily, big spawn here, and it's about time to get out of the park and into the real city. 19 Pokemon on the daily with 2 hours remaining to get these 27 shinies. This means it's about our cue to drop some actual incense and make our grand escape from the wilderness of Central Park. And in our grand escape of Central Park, we got another Swinub shiny right here. And the really cool thing about this park, I'll show you, bing, shiny down, is that kind of randomly, there's really nothing around me at all, but there's this huge cluster of Pokestops and spawns. It's a really crazy park to play in, all things park considered, and definitely matches the vibe of the rest of the city. Watch me get a shiny. Yeah, 273. What did I say? This park is cracked, bro. We should absolutely be able to get 10 by the time we walk out. That's the goal. Really, to keep us on track and to keep us away from transferring one of my rarest shiny Pokemon in my entire account. That's what we kind of got to do. And so far, 5. Hey, from here in Central Park. Okay, we're starting to stack exactly how I hoped we would. I'm sitting on a wet rock here. #6 on the board, and we're almost out of Central Park. And even when there's no Pokestops, there was still like a little cluster here. The spawns are fantastic. And that huge area with all the lures right there, that is the Met, which is a really big, famous museum out here in New York City. We're gonna walk to that, walk around it, and then begin the real grind walking down through all those Pokestops into New York City and turn these 6 shinies into at least 30. Look at, boom, we got #7. Yes, almost at the goal of 10 on the way out of the park. Think secured. Oh my God, no way. For the first time today, back-to-back shiny Pokemon. This one was off of the incense. Yo, no way, check this out. In the journal, look at that. Back-to-back shinies. And look at this cluster. Yes, another one in the cluster, bro. We have made it to the Met, one of the best places in Central Park to play if you can get in or walk around. And I've secured another shiny in the bag. That's 7, 8? And there's still so many spawns on this thing to walk around. Oh my God, I actually got another one. I was just tapping on random ones here just to clean up the cluster before we walked away. We got another shiny. No. Okay, Golden Raspberry, we can't risk any shinies running today. That's another one down. An hour and 40 minutes left, 10 shinies in, and all of those lures to walk through. Okay, so we officially made it outside of Central Park and into another shiny encounter here in the streets of New York. This is where we're gonna spend the next hour and a half playing, and this is technically where the best Pokemon are, not really in the park. As long as we find lures, that is. And looking around, that's the city compared to the park. Park might be a better play. Doesn't matter. 11 shinies in, hour and a half to go. Oh, we got another one. Wow. Reese, if you could translate that on the screen, that'd be great. It's
cold here in New York for a Californian, and this is definitely a stark difference from our last calm day, which was in a desert, stranded in one of the hottest places in California. But spawns are still happening. They're still fantastic. I'm walking kind of alongside Central Park, so it spawns back to back. Not quite.
I got another one. Another shiny on the board. Yes, no, yes.
And that's in the bag.
Now, New York City isn't only iconic just because it's one of the best places to play in the world. Pokemon Go has a ton of history here. Boom, shiny 14. Like, did you know? New York City is where the first person to ever complete their Pokedex lived. It's kind of rumored that they might have been a spoofer, but they lived here in New York City. That was back in 2016, and the history here hasn't changed since. Look at these spawns. Bam, next one on the board. One of the first and most iconic trailers for the game had a scene where people were battling up against the one and only Mewtwo. That was years before it was released. But that scene was placed here in New York City in Times Square. It was an awesome scene, an epic battle, and got a lot of people really hyped for the game. We're here at the edge of Central Park, which means you can see in-game, that's it. And then now we're gonna walk this way into the city, which includes into Times Square, and it looks insane out there. We've got 15 shinies, 1 hour to go, and I've got a trick up my sleeve to help us catch more. This special research is giving us encounters with Swinub that could be shiny and have a boosted IV floor, which means we could get a Shundo from this. But Shundo or not, we need 30 shinies on the day. Let's see. None here. But we also have this research and several stages of it with several checks of Swinub. This. And after a couple of honestly great rewards. This. No. Well, the hunt continues for the last hour, but this time in the insanity that is New York City.
Oh my god, it didn't even make it didn't make it 5 steps. We got another shiny. Right off the bat, another one. Bam. Check.
Got another one. And another fun fact actually about the city is that this year, for the first time ever, Pokemon Go Fest is being hosted here in New York City. Traditionally it was Chicago, and then it went to Seattle. So now we finally have it on the East Coast here in New York. And myself and Trainer Tips will be hosting once again the Shiny Tour event here in New York City during that weekend on August 17th. So if you're in the city, you're in New York, and you're here for Go Fest, stay tuned for the details on that because that will be an awesome event. Just like the one we had in Vegas, going to be incredible. What's not incredible is the fact that we have 17 shiny Pokemon and roughly 46 minutes to go. 23 more. Well, if we're gonna do it anywhere, it's absolutely gonna be here. I mean, case in point, this was like the next Swinub I checked on after I ended that clip. 18, okay, 22 shinies in 45 minutes. Oh, and also happening here, we've got more of the classic research, which again is kind of like a last-ditch effort for us to try to get 1 or 2 more shinies on the board here. Like this one, no. Or this one, God. Okay, into the city we go of New York. Oh, and also, there's a huge reason why we're grinding today so hard for Swinub. It happens to be one of the best Pokemon in the entire game. Man, I've been walking for a minute and I've caught like over 100 of the Swinub and not a shiny since, but looking around, man, it is insane in this city. Unreal that this many stops could be lured up and this many spawns can happen. And honestly, we should have just walked around here the entire time instead of wasting some 2 hours in Central Park. This is crazy. Oh, and also, we've got to evolve a Piloswine, so I'm going to save this one that I saved to evolve, which is a Shadow, and get Mamoswine in Pokemon Go, which does happen to be one of the most meta-relevant Pokemon in the entire game, which is why today, Swinub Day, is a really important one to play, important one to get good IVs, and important for the candies, because this guy, Mamoswine, is a monster. And hopefully it will bless us with a shiny Swinub, because we need one desperately. Less than 30 minutes remain on this event, and I think I still have less than 20 shinies, so that's bad. We get Dust, we get a Rocket Radar, we get a shiny Swinub. Oh, it's a Piloswine this time. That can't be shiny. And finally, we get another shiny Swinub right here, 222 CP. And now its evolution Mamoswine happens to be the #1, well, the Shadow Mamoswine happens to be the #1 non-mega, non-legendary ice type in Pokemon Go. It is the best ice type that you could get in the game and have several of. Please be a shiny. Yes, another one, 280 CP. Let's go. In the same cluster. And the non-Shadow Mamoswine happens to be the #1 non-Shadow, non-legendary, non-mega ice type in the entire game. So overall, as a Shadow or as a non-Shadow, this Pokemon dominates in the meta as an ice type, which is really useful because there's a lot of flying type Pokemon to use it up against in the raids. Now, shiny, age 0, we're at 20 right now with 20 minutes remaining. We need 10 more in 20 minutes, and man, we couldn't be in a better place to do it. Oh my god, got another one, finally. 164, we have 17 minutes. 9 shinies, 17 minutes. Oh, also, Mamoswine in PvP, by the way. As a Shadow, it's ranked 36th in the Masters League, and as a non-Shadow, it's actually ranked higher at 23rd in the Masters League. So it's a great Pokemon all around. The only thing it doesn't have is a Mega. Oh, and it's important to know, for raids, its best moves are Powder Snow and Avalanche. Today during Calm Day, it's getting like a whatever rock type move it's getting. It's not good with that, so just FYI. Okay, we need We need to truck through all this. Coming down to the last 5 minutes of the event, and I can't get a shiny to save my life. Oh my god, and as I say that, we got a 284 CP shiny, a nice little cluster here with 4 minutes remaining. Gonna be honest with you, it is not looking good for us right now. I mean, every Pokemon in this cluster has to sparkle for us to walk away with this winning. Oh no! Oh dude, we are officially in the last minute of the event, and look how lured up and insane the city still is right now. Oh my god, I think I just hit a flower pot. Okay, any last second shinies? Down to the wire. And here it is, our final chance to catch a shiny Pokemon and avoid transferring something insanely rare. We've got a couple of checks. And also today, overall, we gained in about 2.5 hours worth of playing. Swinub, no. 409,000 XP, which is honestly pretty good. We caught around 600 Pokemon in 2.5 hours. Again, pretty good. That Swinub is not shiny. With the 3x catch Stardust bonus, we gained over 300,000 dust, which is actually great. And then in total spun about 135 Pokestops, which kind of less than I thought we would. Honestly, Mamoswine encounter. Kind of a lot of these numbers were a little bit lower than I thought they'd be, but remember, it was only like 2.5 hours. I can't hit this to save my life. Got it. Now, I did get up to 8,500 Swinub candy and 755 XLs, which is ridiculous. And when it comes to shinies caught today, 22, which means we dip into my hyper rare shiny Pokemon collection in transfer 1, which will be this shiny Tropius, a brand new shiny Tropius that just came out during the Las Vegas Hoenn Tour. It is a regional, one of the rarest in the game, and it's gonna get the axe. God, Swinub, why? And that's Pokemon Go in the best city in America.